Today, I will simulate a real lateral movement attack inside Active Directory. So, I will run a real lateral pass the hash attack inside Active Directory environment and then inside detect it with Microsoft Sentinel step by step like a SOC analyst would. This is how attackers move without password. All right. Welcome to Anthony Okiki's Cyber Range Labs. Today, I've already told you what we are going to be doing today. Last episode, I showed you my network architecture, as you can see on the screen, and then we are getting into my infrastructure right now. These are my machines, my attacker Ubuntu machine, my SIM server, domain controller, Windows 10, Windows 11, acting like those are my victims' machines. Okay, so we attack for purpose of today. We attack from the attacker machine, pivot into the domain workstation, then detect using Microsoft Sentinel. Okay, so here is my attacker machine. I'm going to open it up right now. Okay, so as the attacker machine is up, let me explain. So Windows accepts NTLM hash, not only password. Let me repeat that. Windows accepts NTLM hash, not only password. What do I mean by NTLM hash? NTLM stands for New Technology LAN Manager. Okay, so Windows accepts these new technology LAN Manager hashes, not only passwords. So if an attacker steals the hash, they will authenticate themselves, and no password will be needed for them to get into your system and escalate their privilege and do whatever it is they want to do. Okay, now you're gonna see me be doing that in real life. Now I'm on my attacker machine overview, so I'm gonna connect. Okay, so with me connecting, like I mentioned before, my attacker machine is running on a Linux machine. Okay, it's running a Linux um, operating system, Ubuntu 24.04. Okay, so I will be getting into this machine using PowerShell. I'm gonna be using a Cloud Shell from Azure. So let me get that going. Expand that. So connect via Azure CLI. All right, so we're here. So I'm going to be let me say check access. So just like on the previous episode, you saw me go into my Windows machine, go into the domain controller. Now I'm going into a Linux machine, okay? You are not going to see your regular Windows user interface, okay? So I'm going to hit connect. It's gonna open up the Cloud Shell. If I'm using a regular Windows, I will be opening up like a PowerShell or something, but it will be like a command prompt interface. Okay, so you will need to, as a SOC analyst, you will need to have a little bit of background writing scripts, be it PowerShell, Python, or some basic scripting. Okay, and then you grow from there. So I'm waiting for the terminal to load up, and I will expand this for the purpose of the video and clarity. So let's get into it. I'm gonna say yes to this. All right, so I'm actually now my system, my attacker machine has actually started. So as you can see, this is the system information. Over here is the IP address of my attacker machine. That's 172.16.0.7. Okay, so for me to get into it, I will be using the user on this machine is attacker. So I am gonna do SSH attacker at 172.16.0.7, asking for password. Okay, so now I'm fully authenticated as the attacker user on here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to run my attack, which is the pass the hash. Now I've already extracted hashes earlier in the lab using credential dumping. I've already extracted the hashes I'm gonna use, so I'm just gonna run the run the pass the hash attack. And if you want me to go into details how I did the credential dumping, let me know if I have to do a separate video for that, but it's already in the previous episode, so you can check that out. Or if you want me to just do um video or explanation strictly on credential dumping, just let me know. But let's keep moving here. Now I'm going to run this script. It's Python 3 slash user slash share doc Python 3 in packets. This in packet is examples piece exec.py and lab. Now I'm putting in so lab M Smith, that's the domain name and the user of my Windows 11 machine, the victim machine. So that's the attacker launching it past the hash to the credentials of M Smith. Okay, so that will be M Smith at 172.16.0.9, and if successful, I wanted to pull up cmd.exe. Of course, you will know that's the command prompt. Let's see. All right. What do we got? There you go. All right. That's our full attack right now. So as you can notice on the screen, we are not even on the attacker machine anymore. We are currently on my victim's machine. What you can see is C Windows System 32. That tells you you are no longer on the attacker Ubuntu clean. The Linux box, you're no longer there. You're now sitting right inside my Windows 11 machine. Let me show you that. The first thing I'm gonna run on this command prompt is who am I? Who am I? Now look at that. Anti-authority backslash system. So now you are not just in this system, you are actually a system level user right now. So anti-authority backslash system, that is the most powerful security complex wise you can be for any local machine. Okay, you are actually as a system you are even actually higher than an administrator. Okay, you cannot log into a system as a system with a user interface where you put in your username and password, where a regular user can log in, a domain user can log in, an administrator can log in. No, we only got in here through an attack and then escalated our privilege. Now, let me show you. Let me run ipconfig so you can see the IP that I'm on right now is 172. Let me see. Ipconfig should be 172.16.0.9. Ipconfig. There you go. That's right. So what happened here is that the attacker went laterally from his machine, the attacker Ubuntu machine, used the hash to bypass the password requirements and authenticate himself into my Windows 11 machine. Okay, and then look at all the privileges. Now, NT authority is no joke. This is the highest level of authentication you can have. Like I said, you are actually the system. Now, who am I? /priv. That's going to show you the privileges. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All that privileges. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of it one after the other, but we now have a system level shell on the victim machine with remote command execution success. Okay, we now have a system level shell on the victim machine. So here we're going to stop as an attacker. The attack went fine successfully. Now we are going to switch roles. Okay, we are going to switch roles to a SOC analyst, and we are going to use the Microsoft Sentinel to now trace, detect, and investigate these attacks. Okay, now let me pull up my Sentinel. Okay, my Microsoft Sentinel already all configured here. I'm gonna close this out. All right, so Sentinel is up, and so I'm going to be running some query. Like I said, Microsoft Sentinel. This is where detection and investigation takes place. This is what the SOC analyst works with. This is where they check security events on your system to actually detect and investigate any unusual activity within your network. All right, without not wasting time, let me run the first query. Okay, security event. So with Sentinel, whatever you're typing out, the system is going to be suggesting um what you could be intending to type. So you can either like hit enter, like scroll to select whatever it's suggesting, or you can just type it out. So security event, where, like specify where you want. So event ID. So the event ID equals. Now I want to look at no 4624. So that it's the event ID for actually successful logon events that occurred within. I'm gonna change the time pass to past hour. It's actually on 24 hours. I'll just say the last hour, or maybe even half an hour. Let's see. Okay, and where I want that order. Okay, wait, where? Yeah, I want it ordered by time generated. Right. ESC. All right. I'm gonna run the query. See what we got. Oops. There we go. All right. Sweet. We got our queries up, and there we have the NT user, the NT authority. Okay, so that's the first query I'm running. Now I'm gonna add another layer to this because I want to get the net, like the logon type. So the net logon, you will see it at event ID number 3. Event ID number 3 is what records network logons. Okay, so now I'm going to add, tell that to where pull up event logon type, logon type 3. Logon type 3. Alright, so I'm going to run that. See what we got. Alright, sweet. So we also got that, so you can see lab.local with victim 11 here. Now I'm looking for where it says user instead of machine. There it is. All right. Okay. That's the account type user. So Labsmith, actually it's being recorded with as being a user on there. Logon type 3. Now one more query that I'm going to run, and we'll wrap it up for this episode. That's a little longer, so I'm just gonna copy it. I'm going to copy this right here and change that to the last half hour and paste it all and run it, and let's see what we get. There we go. So logon type tree, it's actually the network logon, and that's common with lateral movements. Okay, so as you can see here, now the victims that you can see on the victim machine, my Windows 11 machine account, it's the account that logged in is actually M Smith, but the source machine, if you notice, this is the IP address of my attacker machine, 172.16.0.7. That is the source machine, okay, that logged into this victim machine using the logon type network logon, okay? So that is it. This is how SOC analysts will analyze and trace a lateral movement. Okay, so that's it for today's video. So pass the hash often happens and appears as a network logon from unusual source system using admin account at unusual time. So that is what we just did. Again, pass the hash often appears as a network logon from unusual source system using admin account at unusual time. So that's what you see on SOC analyst. Trace, detect, investigate, and then depending on the organization, activate the next line of incident response within that organization. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And the next episode, I will be simulating Kerberos abuse and pass the ticket attack, and of course, with the detection. All right, thank you for watching to this point. Don't forget to love, share, like, and subscribe. Till next time, have a good one.